what it is. What it ain't, don't it stink? You know how we do. You know what it is. Dry humping. Episode 23. Y'all know the plans. We get in, we get out, we talk about what's happening. And then we do it all again next week. First and foremost, another RIP to start the show. Rest in peace to General Colin Powell. General Colin Powell died a few days ago of complications due to COVID-19. Yes, he was fully vaccinated. And yes, people are trying to hold this up and say this is why I should not get vaccinated. He was fully vaccinated and he still died from COVID complications. He was 84 years old, people. People who are 84 years old, people in their 80s, die all the time from complications due to sex. Y'all not gonna stop fucking. So miss me with that. People die. Ask anybody who works in nursing homes. Old people getting it in, giving each other STDs, and some of them just dying of heart attacks because their heart can't take the hump. And you know what? They still doing it, and you're not gonna say, "Damn, that 84-year-old died from sex. Let me not get it in this weekend." Hell no. So miss me with that. Not here to do another vaccination show. Rest in peace to Colin Powell. Prayers up to his family. Hope everyone's going to be doing okay. And we're going... I wasn't going to talk about this, but people play too much. What is this, Kanye? What is this? People, this is Kanye West's new haircut. If you have not seen it, this is a real picture he posted on his Instagram. No jokes. No, I'm not in the mood for this today. Let's move on. A Haitian gang has kidnapped 16 Americans and 1 Canadian, and they are now demanding $17 million for their ransom. This gang is called 400 Mawuzu. I hope I'm saying that right. 400 Mawuzu, a Haitian gang who are known for doing kidnappings throughout Haiti. This time around, they grabbed up 16 Americans and 1 Canadian, as I said. And the ransom is $17 million. Apparently, Haiti is the kidnapping capital of the world. So kidnappings in Haiti is an everyday occurrence. People get kidnapped in Haiti every day, according to Haitians from Haiti. In reading up on this story, I read a few accounts of people who've been kidnapped. They all seem to be pretty confident that these people are going to be okay and they will be returned safely. And I guess if there's anyone opinion we want on the matter, it's people who've been through this. Is a lot of them are saying, hey, they'll be okay. A lot of times you hear the ransom number. The people who are doing the kidnapping realize that number's astronomical. They go through everyone's personal belongings to figure out what they can afford. Then they send some ridiculous number down the line. And then they meet somewhere in the middle. They're screaming they want $17 million. If these people's accounts are any indication, what will probably happen is they'll get somewhere around 2, 3, 4 million, and these people will be released. As I said, kidnapping in Haiti seems to be an everyday occurrence, and how a lot of these gangs are making their money. It makes you wonder, will that continue now that they've kidnapped Americans? Will the American government and other countries now say, wait a minute, you're kidnapping people from our country. You're not kidnapping your own, you're kidnapping foreigners. All right, we're going to move on. Brian Laundrie. The manhunt for Brian Laundrie has turned up 5 bodies. That, to me, is more interesting than the soap opera aspect of this story of a young couple who was semi-internet famous, went out, had some relationship issues, and now the girlfriend's dead and the boyfriend is missing. As I've said before in previous episodes, that is straight out of a novel. That is straight out of a made-for-TV drama, so I understand why people are gravitating towards the story. But this angle is what interests me. We've had at least 5 people whose remains have been found in the manhunt from Brian Laundrie. We have FBI assisting on the manhunt for Brian Laundrie. But these 5 bodies who turned up, we didn't hear anything about them in the past. We didn't know their names. We didn't see that these remains have been found like, oh yeah, I remember that case. No. What is it about the Gabby Petito Brian Laundrie case that makes the FBI get involved? That makes the United States say we're going to put the Federal Bureau of Investigation on that. Ain't shit that need investigating. We know who killed the young lady. No investigation needed. They just need to find him. And we're going to be okay. Dog the bounty hunters on the case. So yeah, I'm just curious to see how and why that we now are putting so many resources into this one particular case. And no more speculation. Let's move on. China. China has launched a hypersonic missile. And anytime you hear China and hypersonic, you need to get nervous. Apparently, this missile left China's and the Earth's atmosphere, went all the way around the world, and then splash landed about 24 miles away from where it was supposed to land a day later. But a missile that can go into space, go all the way around the world, and then land somewhere in the vicinity of where you want it to, that is scary. Granted, if I'm supposed to land in Miami and I end up in West Palm Beach, I may be a little bit upset. But if I got there in record time and I only had to make up for it with a little bit of an Uber drive, I'm going to be okay with that. I'm pretty sure if China's trying to take out New York and they accidentally take out Connecticut, so the U.S. does not have the power to track this missile, much less defeat it. And this is really making me wonder, was Trump right all along? Do we need Space Force? People made fun of the thought of Space Force, and it's probably because of who was saying it and how he was saying it. And he didn't give us this type of stuff on the back end. And Trump would have said, listen, China has missiles that can go into space and land on your grill at your barbecue. We probably would have paid a whole lot more attention. But let's just not piss China off no time soon, you hear? And let's move on. There's a story coming out of Philadelphia that is absolutely sickening. I don't even want to get into too many of the details. But there was a woman who a few days ago was basically harassed by this man, then started to be groped and touched by this man, sexually assaulted, and ultimately raped by this man on a train. And apparently, according to the footage that has not been released yet, this man was bothering this woman for up to 40 minutes. Well, the entire scenario took place from up to 40 minutes. It escalated from just verbally abusing her to apparently just an all-out rape. And the worst part of it is, there apparently, to this point, there have been 0 confirmed 911 calls on this incident for the Philadelphia portion of it, and they're checking on the Delaware part of it. But from the way it looks is, this entire scenario took place, and everyone picked their phone up to record it happening, and no one picked their phone up to call the authorities. That is scary. That is disgusting. That is disturbing. This man's name is Fiston Noy, Ngoy, Fiston Noy. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He's been charged with rape and a slew of other charges. Pretty sure he's not going to get off. And they are considering pressing charges on the people who sat back and recorded this incident and did not call the authorities. We'll see how this goes. For now, let's move on. Striketober. Striketober is happening. Apparently, workers at a lot of different corporations, these unions, are deciding to stage strikeouts and walkouts. Kellogg's, the cereal making company, they're currently on strike, seeking better wages and better hours and just better treatment. You listen to some of these people's testimony. You come in for an 8-hour shift, 10 minutes before you're supposed to leave, they told you, no, such and such isn't coming today. We need you to work another 8 hours, and you have to do it. Oh, you have a child at home? I hope you can figure that out, but you need to figure that out from here because you're not going home. Treatment like that just cannot be the status quo. And CEOs in these companies have gotten away with it for too long, and workers are now wanting some get back. They're going to strike. They're going to not come to work until you treat them better and pay them better. It is about time. Let's see what happens. You also have the nurses for Kaiser and the television and film union threatening strikes. Kaiser cannot afford to lose a bunch of nurses walking out. We talked about this a few weeks ago, if not last week. There's a nursing shortage throughout the country. There's a teaching shortage in Florida. So we need more nurses. Kaiser needs to do what they need to do to keep these nurses happy, pay them more, better hours, better treatment. And I don't know if you guys remember the last time that we had a TV and film, the TV writers went on strike. Oh, television was bad for a little while. If shows just all in all did not go away for a little while because their writers were on strike, they came out and they were bad. Some shows went away and never came back. So, plenty of money being made at the top. Let's see it trickle down to the employees. Speaking of money at the top, Facebook will probably no longer be known as Facebook coming up here shortly. Facebook is deciding to undergo a name change in an effort to rebrand the company. I don't know if a name change will help them rebrand the company. I guess we'll find out. I would love to see what they come up with. I hope that you guys down below can give me some suggestions. Let's have some fun with this. But we'll see. Facebook is changing their name. They want to rebrand themselves. Let's see how that turns out. And that is it for this week. I have a tea time in 36 minutes. So, headed to the golf course. As always, this has been therapeutic for me. I hope you got something out of it as well. We will see you next week. The last episode of Dry Humping before I turn a year older. We'll see you then. As always, have fun.